now. How'd your PT go today, by the way, Trina?
I rescheduled it for tomorrow.
Ah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I had a bunch of stuff going on and I just had to reschedule it for tomorrow morning. So
Gotcha. Okay, let's see. Remember that part about Facebook doing it easily? Okay, let's see. What was the name of your chicken, Doug?
That one was Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Good old Rosie.
Yeah, she's kind of the sweetest, most docile one. Do you have chickens, Trina?
we have geese.
You have geese. Oh, those are a lot louder.
Oh, they're very loud.
Yeah.
We started off with one that was supposed to be a girl. Her name was Dorothy. Turned out to not be a girl. So I had to go get a girl. So now we have a boy and a girl.
That's awesome.
Did Dorothy change names or
Yeah. It's Goosey. Now we have Goosey and Gertie.
That's hilarious. Okay, guys, I'm about to hit go live. And let's see. All right. Hello, friends. Sorry we're running a little bit late today. Oh, we're not too late. We're good. Doug had a surprise for me whenever we logged into the meeting. And if y'all are lucky, y'all will get to enjoy the surprise at the end as well. So good to see y'all. We are here for Ask a PT. And we have wonderful Trina here today with us. I'm going to give y'all a little spiel. For those of y'all who don't know Doug and all of his shenanigans, I will clue y'all in. Doug is a PT. He has been specializing in Duchenne way back from the Ice Age, when he got out of PT school. There we go. I need to work on my jokes before I deliver them, don't I? Yeesh. Okay. And he's been working mainly with Duchenne, and he's got a special place in his heart for our whole community. He works in clinics, in schools, in playgrounds,
daycares and swimming pools and grocery stores, wherever they'll let me do kind of real life kind of therapy.
Have you done the airplane yet, though? That was your homework last week.
You just asked me about it last week.
I know. Come on.
I'm working on it.
All right. Fair enough. All right, guys. Glad to have y'all here. We are going to pass this off to Trina. Trina is here today with a question about DMD for Doug.
Okay. So I was diagnosed as a manifesting carrier of Duchenne. And a few weeks ago, when we got back from Disney, which probably had a lot to do with it, I had to go see my orthopedist, and he said I had Achilles tendonitis. So he recommended I would do physical therapy, possibly dry needling that would help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I decided to go to physical therapy. I don't really think it's helping, but their physical therapy is more geared towards, I don't want to say regular people, like people that, do not have Duchenne or are manifesting carriers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to figure out what works best or some helpful hints for treating the Achilles tendonitis in a manifesting carrier. And I will say, once I did start PT, they said I do have Achilles tendonitis, but they think it's stemming from weakness of my hips.
Okay. So, sorry, what is the question?
Okay, so if traditional physical therapy that they're used to, like strength training
Mm-hmm.
and muscle building, is not really good for people with Duchenne, like what are some other options that we could do?
Sure. Are you talking about for manifesting carriers?
Yes.
So this is a really good question. I have to kind of think about this, because there's been not a ton of research about exercise and Duchenne, but that's starting to come to light. And it's a rare disease, so we're still learning about Duchenne with the boys in terms of how much exercise can they do, how much can't they do, stretching, all of that stuff. There's even less information on manifesting carriers. So typically, and there's a wide range of manifesting carriers. There's some moms that don't have any symptoms at all. I mean, none, to muscle soreness, muscle weakness, difficulty going up and down stairs, a lot of weakness. The biggest thing that you need to that typically manifesting carriers need to be careful of is the cardio type things like cardiomyopathy and stuff like that. But it sounds like there is potentially some weakness with you. Usually moderate amounts of strengthening in manifesting carriers is not an issue. Again, we're still learning a whole lot about it, and we know that typically the cardiology issues are the issues. So we're still learning about, strengthening in manifesting carriers and how much activity and how much cardio can they do. I would say though, from what I know, from what I've learned, what I've talked to from manifesting carriers, is that low to moderate amounts of strengthening are okay. You just want to probably stay away from kind of, heavy resistance, heavy weights type things, like doing, like doing heavier squats or things like that. Certainly, if there's weakness, if they've found, or if you've noticed that there's weakness throughout the hips, that could be affecting the Achilles such that it's overworking. What an Achilles tendonitis is just an overworking and overstretching of the muscle. And so that can happen from an event, like you trip and you kind of stretch out the muscle, or it could just happen gradually over time. So if there is some weakness in another part of your body, you could be compensating by overworking your calf muscles, which is what the Achilles tendon is. It's part of the calf muscles. So how long ago did you start the PT?
It's been almost a month now.
Okay. So it hasn't been a tremendous amount of time. What I would recommend is, I think going to PT is good. I would certainly just educate them on the basics of Duchenne and explain. Have you already done that? Explain that you're a manifesting carrier and what that means. Okay.
I guess I should have disclosed that I participated in a research study at the University of Florida where they did imaging, and all of my muscles were abnormal. The MRI is extremely abnormal. So I did actually show them the pictures of the muscles that were especially affected.
Okay. What do you remember, like what muscle groups or what areas were more affected than others?
I can pull it up real quick. So all of my muscles are affected, but these are going to be the worst areas. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Okay. So the shoulders, the abdomen, the pelvis, the thighs, and the calves. And in fact, my thighs are the worst area. I'm actually missing a complete muscle of my hamstrings. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. So where this arrow's at, I have a whole piece that's missing.
Okay. So like we were talking about before, I think you're on the more severe side of the manifesting carriers. Okay. So I would work predominantly on probably low to moderate type exercises then. If you can get in a pool, that's good. I don't think we should completely stay away from it. Okay. And rest is an important thing too. We don't want, I mean, even if you didn't have Duchenne in your DNA, even if there was nothing else going on, I would still say with Achilles tendonitis, in the beginning, we do need to kind of rest more and make sure that we're maintaining range of motion, but not overworking the muscle. We want to get the acute symptoms down. We want to get the pain and the swelling of the muscle down, and then slowly work back in. So I would say that the approach is not really any different with you. We just have to go at a slower pace and at a less aggressive pace with the strengthening, just to be careful, because if the MRI did show abnormalities in there, then you most likely are more susceptible to damage than if you didn't have that. So I think things like, once the symptoms kind of die down, getting in a pool and doing exercise, a treadmill, a stationary bicycle with minimal amounts of resistance are going to be important. And then once you kind of get past that Achilles tendonitis, and they can also do some gentle massage as well to help align the fibers. Whenever you have a tear of the muscle fibers are usually like this. You have a tear of the muscle, and then the fibers become all jumbled up. So as healing begins, we want to start keeping that muscle stretched out and aligning the fibers. And then once that Achilles tendonitis goes away, it's going to be important to kind of maintain mobility, do the stationary bicycle, do some exercise on the lower intensity side, and keep the strength that you have throughout the hips and throughout the lower extremities.
Okay, I have another question for you. So on the
Yeah.
other end of the spectrum, they said if physical therapy, they're going to give it a little while, but if physical therapy doesn't work, he suggested either a cast or a walking boot. But my concern was, is it, with muscular dystrophy, is it almost just as bad to not use the muscle compared to like overusing the muscle, like having it in the boot and I'm not using it? I'm scared to lose whatever I do have.
I would say that is less of a risk with manifesting carriers than it is with the expressive Duchenne. We certainly, when we're doing serial casting or there's been a fracture of some sort with the boys with Duchenne, sometimes we have to cast, absolutely, but we want to try to get them moving as quickly as possible because there is definitely a use it or lose it component to that. I think there is that in your case as well, but I don't think it is as timely, because more than likely the damage to the muscles or the healing to the muscles, it's not as the damage is not as great or as much of a risk as it is with expressive Duchenne. So as long as, I think with the walking boot, the idea is let's get those symptoms down. Let's get that irritation and inflammation down. So I certainly, as when that goes away, I think the walking boot will help with that. And then as that goes away, then start to reintroduce activity as soon as the symptoms go away.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I have two real quick wrap-up questions. I know a little bit about exercise and the physical body and all that fun stuff, so I'm just going to toss in a couple things. Trina, have they been having you do the icing and the resting and the elevating and all that fun stuff, or are you long gone past that?
No, I still do that, and Epsom salt is my friend.
Okay,
I
cool.
use that quite often.
Doug, what are your thoughts about as an intermediary, if there's not a pool or, transition from the pool to more weight bearing, something like a total gym or a Pilates reformer?
Yeah, as long as it's, I like both of those things because you can make that really heavy resistance exercise, or you can make it really light, using the bands in different ways or using the incline in different ways. So absolutely, if we're trying to kind of reintroduce stuff and then putting, using the total gym or the reformer on a lighter level, then that'll help too. That helps. I mean, especially the total gym, because we're getting that range of motion as we're going up and down the incline. We're getting that range of motion, but we're taking some of the gravity and the body weight out of the equation. So we're introducing that strengthening, but we're doing it in a gradual way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, very good, Trina. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm thrilled about the opportunity to pick Doug's brain when it comes to manifesting carriers, because, man, you guys have been underserved for way too long. So we'll play Stump the PT with Doug with our manifesting carriers. It's a fun game.
It's a great topic, and there really needs to be more on it, because You know, understandably, so much focus has been on the boys too, but the moms, if they're manifesting carriers, they have issues that need to be addressed. Absolutely. So I'm glad that you are, Trina, I'm glad that you are addressing it. I'm glad, you know, hopefully this helps and, you know, making sure that you take care of yourself as well.
Well, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah.
And one last thing, I was reflecting the other day about the manifesting carriers, and it's it's a double dose. Not only do you have symptoms of Duchenne, but you also have, you know, if you have a child with Duchenne, you also have the care and the caregiving, and you have that component layered on top of just the physical body. So it's tough. It's a challenge for sure. But thank you again for coming on. So grateful. And Doug, hopefully next week you can have your special guest join us. Until then, we'll scoot. We'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.